Hello, speech class. My name is Micah Wills, and this is my persuasive speech about not letting depression consume you. In a time like this, most people feel overwhelmed. It's safe to say that these are unexpected, rough times for people right now. Most might claim to be depressed. Depression is defined as feelings of severe despondency and dejection. One could argue that we, as a society, have low spirits and no hope deep down right now. One could also argue that depression is untreatable without medicine. What if I told you that you're wrong? What if I told you that you could help yourself without the help of a prescription? This essay will touch on how depression affects the brain, effective treatments for depression, and how you can help yourself and others feel better. For the past 4 years or so, the media has glorified depression. People who have made depression jokes on social media, they praise this wave of depression across the youth of this generation of teens. It was given different weird names like the pit and sad boy hours, which we can all relate to. Some people argued that you were only depressed if you were suicidal. However, Eric J. Nestler wrote about the science of depression and its effects on the brain. He claims that epidemiologic studies show that roughly 40% to 50% of the risk for depression is genetic. He also discusses the types of depression. He had them listed on his website, things to look for, and the emotional and physical problems that depression brings upon the body. He provides a diagram and also explains how the hippocampus and the neocortex contribute to the feelings of worthlessness, hopelessness, guilt, and distorted memory, etc. Distorted memory as in thinking that a certain memory that you remember is sad even though it might have been happy or interesting, like a birthday. He also explains that the amygdala and the striatum decrease the drive of rewarding / pleasurable activities, increases anxiety, and reduces overall motivation. He provided a list of other signs to look for and different parts of the brains in which they affect. But he concludes his article with positivity, stating that new technology has allowed scientists to see various molecules that affect depression. He also mentions that they're trying to find more definitive treatments and preventive measures for depression. There's no definite cure for depression. However, it is said by the Help Guide that the things that help most are the most difficult to do. So in other words, the things that end your depression are the most difficult things to do while depressed. However, you may try a few before you you can take antidepressants, but it is also a struggle to find the right one idealistically. And David Levine of the U.S. News and World Report says that those on antidepressants for a long time might struggle to get off of them, and sometimes they have devastating consequences, including suicide. So it's arguably better to gradually help yourself get out of the depression. Now, the first step is definitely to talk about it. Talk about it with friends, family, a therapist, someone you trust. Try your best to do things that would make you happy. Simple things like drawing, dancing, watching certain films, going outside into nature, going into the sunlight for 15 minutes or more can internally, subconsciously brighten your mood. Try to stay away from negative and unrealistic ways of thinking that can fuel your depression. It sounds crazy or difficult to say, but try not to overgeneralize, overthink, label, jump to conclusions, or diminish positive memories that you may have. Try not to focus on what's going wrong, but double back and think about the little things that are going right. The help guide provides information on how to recognize depressive symptoms in loved ones and friends. They encourage you to have a conversation with those loved ones and friends. They give you certain sentence starters and questions that may encourage a healthy conversation about how the person may feel. They bring up how serious and real suicide is, and that if it doesn't make you comfortable talking about it, there are other healthcare professionals that you can call. They can be an outlet for you to just get those feelings out. And overall, just staying connected with the people around you through text messages, emails, calling someone, just to make yourself and even them feel better. Reaching out oftentimes makes people feel important. And yes, we may stay indoors, but we don't have to completely disconnect from everyone. This essay talked about how depression affects the brain, effective treatments for depression, and how you can help yourself and others feel better. We touched on the genes surrounding some feelings, and tips on how to overcome depression within yourself, and ways to help friends and family who are also depressed. Lastly, I would like to provide the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline phone number to call or text. For anyone in need of emergency, call 1-800-273-8255. And that is the end of my speech.